Okay, so what the fuck? I know that that's kind of not usually a way that people open a video, but if you couldn't figure out by my last few uploads, well, minus the dubs, but shh, um, I figured out about an Incredibox mod called Sprunki, and I recently took an interest in it in saying that I wanted to create my own lore for it because there was none actually canonized, minus the very few things that were like minor shit, like the yellow one, I think, like, bit part of the fucking brown one's face off. I forgot most of their names. I wrote the lore, like, part of the lore in that whole big description in one of my videos, and then proceeded to forget every single one of their names because I suck at names. The only thing I really knew about Sprunky before finding out about it was that the fandom is absolute dog shit because 90% of it is brain rot, and the few people that aren't brain rot hate the brain rot section of the fandom. And for the other half of people that aren't brain rot, the brain rot's ruining Sprunky for them. Fair enough, honestly. I had no clue people hated it this much, though. Like, apparently the mod was made by a really ambitious 15-year-old, I think is what it was. That, got, like, doxxed and shit over it because someone decided that they were being too ambitious, I guess, and decided, hey, I'm gonna put you and your family in danger because that's so funny because I don't like this passion project that you made with absolute fucking artistic availability. Like, it's not making sense here. It's not making any fucking sense. Anyways, I'm here to talk about it and talk about why I like it so much personally and why I think that person is kind of special in the head. Alright, let's start out easy. What is Sprunki? As dumb as it may sound, it is an Incredibox mod, quote-unquote, that was reposted on Kokria, originally posted on Scratch by a guy named Nyanko BF who was 15, who had this funny little passion project that they were going to turn Incredibox into a horror game, as many other mods have done. And, you know, and it's one of those really good horror games because the way that it shows you the horror is just, oh hey, everything's scary and bloody now, and most of the characters are fucking dead. Anyways, keep dropping fire beats for me, why don't you? That was it. That was the entire game. It's fire beats, scary fire beats. That was the game. And you know, no one really had much of a problem with it for a while. And then the brain rot got a hold of it. And then Twitter got a hold of it. Sorry, Twatter got a hold of it. Fucking, yeah, Twatter. Twatter got a hold of fucking, of something that a 15-year-old made. That's how you know it's about to be really bad. And I'm gonna spare you the details, because I'm not really here to analyze the whole thing that made everything. I'm not here to analyze everything that went down, but long story short, a 15-year-old and his entire family got doxxed and put in danger by some guy on Twatter. And Twatter fucking celebrated it for some reason, even though it was over a fucking Scratch game. An Incredibox mod Scratch game. What? I don't know what was going through that dude's head. Why exactly? Ooh, I mean, a lot of people could argue, because it's brain rot. That's what the community did to it. That's why it's brain rot. Because the community took it and made it brain rot. Are you getting that? I would hope so. Anyways, so yeah, and then it got taken off. It got taken off of Scratch quite a few times, and then the Nyanko put it on fucking Kokria. And Yeah, but here I am. I'm gonna talk about why I like it, what I don't really like about it, why the fandom is shit, besides the obvious reasons. And then I'm just gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about just usability, the music you can make, what you can do with it. There are people that have made mods of the mod, which I know that I'm calling Sprunki a mod because that's literally what it is. It's a mod to Incredibox. A lot of people aren't getting that for some reason. But yeah, people are making mods of the mod, and I'm gonna talk about those. And then I'm gonna talk about, I guess, lore after all the important stuff has blown over. Or after I've talked about all the important stuff, not... You know what I... Alright. So, what do I like about Sprunki? There's a lot that I like about it. I like the simple character designs. I actually really like the way that it does horror because, like I said, it's literally just make fire beats. Hey, everyone's scary, bloody, and dead. Here's some vague amounts of lore. Go back to making fire beats. It's, if anything, the horror aspect to the game adds more playability to it, and that's what I really love about it. I wish that there was horror that did that, where the horror aspect adds playability. Because every single instrument is completely redone in the horror mode. It's not like the same thing or something. It's all very different, and you can make different songs with it by putting the characters in different orders and having different ways to do it. If you have different clips, you can remix it. You can remix the clips. You can remix the sounds and turn the sounds into songs all their own. It's a whole thing, and I really like how it is. Not to mention, the character designs remain simple even in the horror mode. Like, even in... Granted, yes, I will say that, like, you know what? No, never mind. I'm not going to talk about that yet. What I am going to talk about, I just really like it. I like how vague the lore is, too, because that means that other people can make up their own lore for it. And since Nyanko, I don't know how you say the name, I'm sorry. But the creator isn't working on it anymore, so we can really make up any lore we want. And if people come to a consensus about something that's going to be just straight up fanon, great, amazing. And that leads me to talk about the things that I don't like. Number one is the fandom, but I'm going to get to that in the next point. I'm going to be kind of honest, the only thing I could really say that I don't really like about it is the fact that it's a loop, but it's Incredibox, so of course it's gonna loop, and all it really takes is changes in pitch, remixing the sounds themselves or something, or just making transitions to other orders of characters, and then boom, you have the problem solved. Or, just suck it up and deal with the loop, because hey, there's a lot of loops in Sprunki that actually do sound kind of fire. I'm gonna be real. I've experimented with it for hours. Yes, I'm admitting that I've experimented with it for hours. Do I really care? No, not really. Am I still gonna keep making my normal fucking random shit-ass content? Yes. Because I'm not obsessed with it, nor do I really care for brain rot, nor am I a piece of shit. I'm not gonna attack anyone that hates me for liking Sprunki either. Like, if you don't like it, and you don't like me for liking it, that's kind of a dick move, and a bit of a double standard, given the fact that very popular things like Five Nights at Freddy's and Among Us and fucking what's another good example? Fucking, I don't know, Bendy and the Ink Machine, I guess. They're all parts of content farms and brain rot and other things. Marvel, Elsa, there's an entire thing named after Elsa because of Elsagate. And no one is hating people that like, those things. Kid stuff. And horror games. Why is Sprunki so bad? Yeah, sure, its initial reception was really good. People loved it. Markiplier played it. I think 8-Bit Ryan played it. I don't fully remember. I might be thinking of someone else. But yeah, a lot of people played it. A lot of popular people played it. That 15-year-old, it got a great reception, and then the brain rot got a hold of it, and then suddenly people completely turned on it and pretended it didn't exist. Which to me makes no sense. Granted, yes, no one knew that they were 15. I'm not gonna fault anyone for that. Well, I'm not gonna fault anyone except for the asshole that put him in danger, but that's because... No. Do we know what that guy's name was? No. Do we deserve to know what his name was? Fuck no. It's honestly kind of pleasing to look at, too. I like the mystery in it, and, the light, happy-go-lucky, goody-two-shoes mode is it's very satisfying to look at. Granted, the saturated colors do kind of hurt your eyes a little if you're on full brightness, but I keep my computer very low on brightness, so for me it's very satisfying to stare at the characters. I like the animations. The animations are very clean. Occasionally it does kind of lag a little bit, but that's just because a lot of them have very dynamic animations, and sometimes it'll freeze up a little, but it usually fixes itself, so it's fine. Anyways, now to the next point. Why is the fandom to Sprunki dog shit? Well, I'll give you 3 reasons. I'll give you one big reason. Brain rot. Most of the fandom to it nowadays is just completely brain rot. Granted, shout out to the 8 people that aren't brain rot and are still in the fandom, that are kind of sort of keeping the rationality in it alive, I guess. Because, yeah, I swear, there's 8 people in there, not including myself, that are actually keeping the fandom alive and that are actually rational human beings. So, But, yeah, no, the other reason besides brain rot, content farms got their greasy, grubby, incel-coated hands all over it. Really spreading the incel juice all throughout it. Really making sure that it gets no positivity ever. Which, it kind of failed considering how much I've been kind of glazing it for the past, 20 minutes, but... Good. But yeah, no. The toxicity in the fandom is fucking unreal. It's worse than Amazing Digital Circus, for example. It's worse than that. Which Gooseworks' whole fandom has gotten really bad about toxicity, which, yes, I know they're trying to stop that. Fucking good on you, Gooseworks. But, yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad here in the Sprunki fandom, buddy. It's so bad. Anyway. But yeah, I can't sometimes, man. I just can't with this. I can't with this. It's so bad. Not to mention that a lot of times people that do get out there in the Sprunki fandom, that try to get far out there, you have the chance of getting doxxed. Clearly the fandom thinks that's an okay thing if, the entirety of Twatter was celebrating someone getting fucking doxxed for making a passion project about Incredibox. Which, I know that a lot of people didn't realize at the time that it was based off of Incredibox, but I feel like that should have been a good thing instead of something to be annoyed about. Like, yes, people were classifying it as its own game, and yeah, sure, maybe the person could have put in the description, this is a mod to Incredibox. But the fact that most people didn't recognize it as Incredibox, I feel like could be probably a good thing, because that shows a lot of originality. Because it is very original. The art style is very simple, the characters are quite original, their sounds are quite interesting and unique and can fit together quite well. And, like, all in all, the fact that it can differentiate itself from Incredibox while still being part of Incredibox is kind of impressive to me, actually. Like, they made something that can both differentiate and join to Incredibox. And I really love that, honestly. I like that a lot. The fandom apparently didn't seem to understand that at all. Which a lot of Incredibox fans don't like Sprunki for that reason, because most people didn't get it. Like, that it was Incredibox. Which, that's fair. Hate what you hate. It's totally fine. If that's your reasoning, that's honestly kind of fair, because if I was a long-time Incredibox veteran and people didn't understand that Sprunki was Incredibox, I would be probably a little peeved myself, but I'm not. That's because I'm not an Incredibox veteran. I might just be missing a whole point there that I'm not getting. I don't know. That's whatever. That's whatever. If I am missing something, that's my bad. I'll take that right on the head. Ow. I know you can't see that, but I actually just hit myself in the head a little too hard. Fuck. Yeah. Anyways, final thing. Just talking about it in general. I guess I'll talk about the lore, I guess, because that's kind of the only thing I kind of really grazed over. Was the lore. What is the lore to it? There isn't any. There's a few things that were canonized, like the yellow one biting the brown one. I think his name was Simon. I think that's the yellow one's name. Because I know some of their names kind of correspond a little bit to their color, like the orange one I think was named, Orin? So very... I could tell they really thought that one through. I'm kidding. That's mean, I'm sorry. I think... What was the red one's name? Randy? Ratty? I think Ratty. I think that sounds a little correct. 2 Ds, I think is what it was. That sounds right to me. I think that's what it was. And then there was like a lime one and a green one. What are their names? Hold on, I'm gonna look up their names. Okay, so I found their names. So it's Orin, Ratty, and then there's fucking the gray one, which is Clucker. Or like a bright gray one with the symbol, I think, is on his head. And then there's the gray cat, which is actually named Gray. Well, I literally have no room to talk about that name because my first persona was named Gray and she was a gray wolf, so I have no room to talk at all. I don't got no room to speak here. But yeah, no, there's Clucker, I think there's Funbot, and then there's like a Fun Computer. There's oh god. I'm already blanking their names. Oh my god. I'm already blanking their fucking names again. Hold on. I have the image up. I have an image of all the characters. Okay. There's Tanner. Okay. Or Tanner. I'm gonna call him Tanner because that sounds a little more correct. I know the white one's name is Wenda. She's the fan favorite. The amount of very not great art I've seen of that cat thing. The pink one I remember is named Pinky. The cyan one, I think, the cyan bear looking thing is Sky. The lime one is basically just gibberish, but I think his name is a wax? That sounds right. That looks right. That looks like how it sounds. I'm gonna say his name is a wax, and I'm just gonna call it good. I think that's fine. And then we have Simon. The purple one's name is fucking Durple. Okay, I'm stupid. Alright, I'm refreshed on their names now. Yeah, all of their horror designs and stuff, I already remember. I have ideas for pretty much most of them, if not all of them. And I'm excited to share my version of the lore with everyone because, frankly, I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to be cool. I mean, granted, I am a little worried for how it's going to go because I know how you people are looking at the bad end of the fandom here. But yeah, so. And for any of you Sprunki fans that are actually rational human beings that are cheering in your seat that the fandom that there is a member of the fandom that is still actually active and that isn't a piece of shit, hi, shout out to you. How are you? I hope you people are well and that your rationality is still remaining intact in this war zone of a fandom. Anyways, yeah, this is pretty much an ending point to the video if you don't want to stick around. So if you don't want to stick around, goodbye. I will see you in my next video if any of you happen to return. And if you don't, then, well, I hope that I at least made you happy for a fraction of a second. And if you are a person that now hates me because I admitted that I actually like Sprunki and that I actually appreciate it, then okay. I don't know what else you want me to say other than okay. May you never interact with my channel again, I guess, since that's usually what haters do, is they don't interact. So, goodbye. I'm happy that I made you happy and enjoy hating me, I guess. And, yeah, bye. Alright, now we're in the point where no one is gonna see this, so I can talk about whatever the fuck I want. And I can be as weird as I want. Oh, I can be as weird as I want. Shout out to the 3 people that have stuck around and are now wondering why they stuck around. Anyways, for the 4 people that are sitting here still wondering why they just still sat here instead of going to watch anything else on the entire YouTube platform, hi, how are you? I hope you are well. I hope your fridge is stocked. I hope your pillows were cold last night when you went to fall asleep. Mine unfortunately weren't, but that's a me problem, I guess. My AC just wasn't high enough. I guess to give something to continue the goings-on of this video, I will be talking about the, my version of the Sprunki lore, I guess. Which, I guess I can go a little more in-depth about it, but I probably won't, because I don't want to spoil too much. But yeah, I'm gonna be making it in the comic format. I'm still making all of the different character designs, because some of them are a bit hard to make anthropomorphic, and I know I could just go for the basic anatomical Sprunki, which I think is just like the weird cone body, circle head looking things with the weird like arms that hide themselves like the Solver wings do in Murder Drones, where they just kind of disappear behind the character, I guess. I don't really want to do that though, because frankly, I don't know, I feel like I could put a little more work into the characters than that. So far I have Clucker, I have Orin, Ratty, and Clucker all done, but I have to finish Funbot and Onward. And then I have to do all the horror versions, which is just most of them are dead and some of them are a little cuckoo. But, basically what I'm gonna do is that all of them do reside in, like, this very small little neighborhood kind of thing, area, whatever. And that's pretty much it. They all just, yeah, that's their life. That's about it for, yeah. All of them usually tend to live in little small houses, except Durple lives in, like, a mountainous type area. The sun and the tree are not characters, they kind of just don't exist. I'm just gonna do, like, a background thing where, like, occasionally one tree will just have a face, or occasionally there'll be, like, some semi-sentient trees, and then the sun is just average cartoon sun, where it's really happy, like in the fucking Teletubbies, but without the creepy baby face. That's that's what those two are gonna become, because I really don't know a way to characterize fucking a tree and the sun. So, yeah. Black will be kind of an ominous character in the non-horror aspect of the lore, of the story that I'm doing. He'll just be kind of a strange dude that hangs eerily close to Wenda, because I guess, and I quote, Wenda's the only one that doesn't think he's weird. She just thinks he's, I don't know, eccentric or something, because I like to think that she's, like, really, I don't know, she has some oddities in her brain herself, and she gets along with Black for being a little weird. I know that a lot of people say that Gray and Wenda are either into each other, or that they're brother and sister. No, they're not into each other, nor are they brother and sister. They're just friends. They're just close friends. Sorry, I have a bit of a sniffle. I'm just getting over a cold, so my nose is being a little weird right now. I just said weird way too many times anyway. But yeah, everything starts to get a little weird when Wenda starts acting a little more distant from everyone else. And Black goes completely missing for a little while. Everyone goes to go look for, a few people go to look for Black. Not a whole lot, mainly just Jevin and Gray. And then everyone else is trying to figure out why Wenda's acting so weird and distant, mainly because she stays in her house more often than not, and every time she does come out, she's very spacey, we'll say. Like, whenever she's out there with people, she's still same kind of happy, but she's got that, she's that creepy kind of happy, like the psychotic sort of happy, but kind of underlayered a little bit, and if that makes sense. I doubt that it does, but... And then everything starts to go a little weird when, Wenda's eyes finally lose all of their color. We all know what that means. Hanging around Black definitely did something to her, but what that was, oh, I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't actually know how I'm going about all of this. I just know that most of it is Wenda's doing, and the other part of it is, yeah. But basically, Wenda, in her brain, she's in what I like to call a mindscape. She's not dead. Well, part of her is, kind of. The part of her that is basically, she's kind of almost possessed by Black, by a part of Black a little bit, because Black is kind of just this sort of, eldritch entity type thing. Basically, what he does is that when everyone else is off doing their own thing, because they've given up looking for Black, no one really put that much effort into it, Jevin sensed that something was off when they went to go look for him, and urged Gray to just stop looking, because it just wasn't worth it, and didn't seem like they'd be getting anywhere, to which Gray was just like, okay, sure, why not? He wanted an excuse to stop, because he's, I mean, he is a cat, so I would consider that he's a scaredy cat, a little bit. He doesn't show it a lot, but he is a scaredy cat, yeah, we'll say that. Because there isn't a lot of personality to these characters that is actually canon, because I know basically nothing about the characters. I'm sculpting them from the ground up based on design, and based off of what little was actually released to the public before everything went down. But, yeah. What happened, though, after everyone went off to do their own thing, a couple of them went missing, starting with Simon ended up going missing after a while and got put into the mindscape as well. Basically, the way that it was that Black did something to Wenda, and Wenda woke up as if it were a dream, but Black isn't there. He didn't exist. No one remembered who he was. No one ever really even remembered the name Black. They only know the color, of course, because for some reason being named after a color isn't a very uncommon thing. But no one remembered the name. No one remembered a guy with a tie and a hat or anything. They didn't remember he ever fucking existed. And life went on as normal. Except everyone else seemed almost gone, except for Simon. Simon was there. He came out of his house as if he had woken up from a very horrible nightmare, and it seemed to be worse than Wenda's. And when Wenda asked what happened, he said that he recalled someone wearing all black with a tie and a hat. Which she said, hey, no, she was like, oh, hey, no way, I had that dream too. Maybe we had one of those weird shared dream things. Where's everyone else? And I don't know, Simon's sitting there like, I think they're all still asleep. Oh, I don't know. Let's not snoop in their house because privacy exists. Because I need a reason to continue building my plot. And eventually, as more characters go missing, they appear in the Mindscape. Even characters that died a Wenda will appear in the Mindscape as well, because again, she is possessed by a part of black, and that would mean that, he can still infect people through her, which is going to be pretty cool. And I have a few creepy ways that I plan for everyone to die, because I'm using their horror versions of themselves to make their deaths happen. For, I will just say that, I think the hardest one for me was definitely, because I already know how I want all of them to die, but the hardest one for me, I think, was definitely Veneria? I don't know how to say them. I'm gonna say Veneria. It was her and, Clucker were very hard for me to figure out how I wanted them to die. Sky was too. I have ways that I'm going to have all of them die, but I will, however, spoil one death for all of you, for the 4 people that are probably still sitting here. I don't even know if anyone's seeing this at this point. Which, hey, if not, that's more that I get to reveal in my comic. Yippee! Do I know when that's actually coming out? No. No, I don't, because it's gonna take me a while. I already know it's gonna take me a while. Everything's gonna take a while to not only structure, but I have to actually write out everything that I'm doing, and one thing that I'm gonna do to challenge myself, there will be no actual dialogue. If people see the comic and decide, hey, I want to dub over this with my own voice or something, obviously, I might not do that. I mean, I might, but I might also not. But if someone decides, hey, I want to voice act this, hey, I want to dub this with actual voice lines and stuff, feel free. All I ask is to give credit, but other than that, I kind of just don't care. But anyways, I will spoil one death for you, and that death will be Clucker's. Basically, Wenda finds him, and she's already covered in blood by this point. She's murdered Orin and Ratty by this point, and they've both gone missing. And Clucker is naturally, wondering, hey, why are you covered in, that's blood, and is naturally afraid of her. Wenda does the whole very coy, very insane, Wenda, quote-unquote, does the very coy, very insane, aw, why are you so scared? I'm not gonna hurt you or anything, and ends up chasing him behind her house. I mean, it might also be Orin or Ratty's houses because they're dead. Actually, it might honestly just be in Ratty's house. She chases him into Ratty's house, and Clucker finds Ratty's dead corpse hanging from the ceiling. Because if you remember in the horror mode, he is hanging from the ceiling, his legs are gone, half of his fucking face is missing, and one of his eyes is gone. Yeah, he got a little far knocked. I'm pretty sure, canonically speaking, he had the most painful death, which is why I'm not spoiling that one. But Wenda finds him, closes and locks the door, and begins to bash Clucker's face against the wall until she notices the symbol is still on his head. So she picks up Clucker with a supernatural amount of strength and begins to battering ram him against the wall until the rod in his skull goes through the wall and the symbol crushes his skull. And instead of cleaning any of it up, because why the fuck would she? She's possessed for one, and for two, she's psychotic. She doesn't give a fuck. She's the one doing this. She just kind of stands back, admires her work, takes a minute, and then just leaves Ratty's house, closes the door, and leaves Clucker's corpse there. And poof, he appears in the Mindscape with the other 4 characters, making 5 in the Mindscape. Will Black ever appear in the Mindscape? I have no fucking clue. Probably not. I might make him appear in there, but I also probably won't, because the only reason he would appear in the Mindscape would be as an aberration to the characters in said Mindscape. Because basically, what the Mindscape is meant to be is it's an infected connection between each character. When each character dies or gets infected by Black himself, they are all connected by the infection, and they're all put into this sort of hallucinogenic sort of state, basically. Like, they're still dead, but they don't know that they're dead. Well, they kind of do. They see everything as a dream, pretty much. Of course, they still can figure out that they are in fact dead, and what they are in is just a big giant simulation, basically. But it's not, but it would still take a while to figure that out, and I'm still going to do some plot to make that an actuality. But yeah, that's all of the lore that I'm gonna spoil for it. I know it's not as much as I did in that one description to that one Incredibox mix I did, but anyways, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna finish doing character design. I'll start up on the comic. This is then my opinion on Sprunki. Why I like it, why I didn't really something I had a bit of an issue with that isn't actually that much of an issue, why the fandom's shit, and me just yapping about it, really. And yeah, that's pretty much it, honestly. I hope that the 4 people that are still here have enjoyed.